अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्। वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्। वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीमा विद्विषावहै। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We have seen till the 4th shloka. So page number 17. If you have this book, page number 17. Repeat after me. Nodeti nastametyesha nastametyesha na vruddhim yati na kshayam swayam vibhatyathaanyani स्वयं विभात्यथान्यानि विभात्यथान्यानि भासयेत् साधनं विना। न उदेति न अस्तम एति न वृद्धिं याति न क्षयम स्वयं विभाति. This is how you break it here. Swayam vibhati atha anyani bhasayet. Swayam vibhati atha anyani bhasayet. sadhanam vina. We keep referring to words in Vedanta Vichara, like consciousness, awareness. What does it mean when we use these words? Why do we use these words? So this particular shloka, it defines the nature of one's own true self in a very unique way. This, and here nowhere it is mentioned what this is. So I'm using the word so that I can communicate better. As mentioned anywhere what this is defined as. So this consciousness, na udeti, does not rise, meaning does not have a birth, is unborn. Na astam eti esha. It does not, there is no like sunsets. Astam means the set. So na astam eti. It does not set, meaning it does not die. Meaning it is immortal by nature. Na vruddhim yati, na kshayam yati. It does not increase, it does not reduce. See, if this was the only line given, then it can be interpreted as many things. You should take the oceans of the earth. Na udeti, na astamyeti. It does not rise. Meaning prior to its rise, it was non-existent. I'm not talking of the rise and fall of the waves. That it was non-existent, suddenly it rose and then it went away. Na vruddhim yati. Tons and tons of gallons flow in. It absorbs everything, but does not change, does not move. Na kshayam yati. It does not decrease. The total mass of waters in the oceans seems to remain constant. If you get that example. Something similar, that this consciousness neither rises nor sets, neither expands nor decreases, because it is immortal and it is immutable. It cannot be shattered by anything. It cannot be reduced to nothingness by anything. But this much is not good enough a definition. So here Adi Shankaracharya ji takes it to the next level. He says, Swayam Vibhati. Swayam Vibhati. It is self-illumining. It does not require any other source to illumine itself. It's independent. Many of us, or all of us, we think we are independent, but sadly we are only interdependent. If we were thrown in an island which had no trees, no plants, only sand, and you're stuck there. Can you live? We need a lot of things. If you are in an island wherein it has flora and fauna and then you have a source of water, you depend on it for your survival. You need something to depend on to move on. And in net result, somebody else depends on us as well. So we are interdependent creatures as a human being. But this consciousness is independent, does not depend on anything for its illumination. So it does not believe in outsourcing. It is self-sourced. Atha anyani bhasayet. It illumines everything else. Sadhanam vina. Without a need of a mediation. Because its nature is to glow. If you ask someone to, today it was all cloudy, right? If somebody were asked, can you go check? Can you go check if the sun can be seen? Do you need a flashlight to go out and then, check? Is the sun out? They say the sun is covered by clouds. Really? Not covered by clouds. Clouds. Our vision is covered by those clouds. Therefore, we are not able to see that sun. In fact, even the presence of those clouds, how are we recognizing? Isn't it in the illumination of that sun alone? Sun, which seemingly is blocked it by these clouds, those clouds are nothing but illumined, therefore I can see. The sun per se does not require any other illumining agency to recognize it. My mother, she used to give me these amazing instructions. At that time I used to laugh. Now I am tending to become like that. She used to say, not even specific between me and my brother, it would not be even a specific instruction. Arey, us room mein jaake wo leke aa. First, who is that? Arey. I would think my brother wouldn't answer. He would think I would answer. And then she would get really upset. When I talk to you people, nobody answers. There is no karta karma kriya there. Or do you translate karta karma kriya into English? Subject, object, predicate. There's nothing. And then what is the further instruction? उस रूम में से वो लेके आ. Have you ever been instructed by your parents like that? Go get that thing from that room. What thing from what room? It's not very clear. Even if clarity given that this is the thing, you have to search for it. It does not ping its existence to you. Though these days there are some little Bluetooth devices that you can tag it to various things. All that you have to do is on an app, press. Where is it beeping? Remember one day I lost my cell phone for a while. And we searched the entire space in that apartment. We even ripped out all the... Everybody was trying to call. It is not self-expressing, self-illumined. You have to search for it. But the sun, you don't need to have any other parameters. It is Swayam Prakasha. It is self-illumined. All that you have to do is open your eyes and see. Similarly, when talking about this consciousness, Swayam Vibhati Anyani Atha Bhasayet. It illumines others, everything else. It does not require anything else as a medium, as a support to illumine. Now, this is one concept which we have to get very deeply understood. Because after understanding or listening to initial Vedantic logic, one particular trap. It is inevitable. Each one of us will go through that trap. Because we are very intensely trying to catch this consciousness through our intellect, through the understanding of our intellect. Right? If the intellect cannot grasp, then it is out of bounds for my cognition. What is this? Bunch of keys. Now tell me, what do I have in my hand? Whatever I have, your intellect cannot grasp. It can only guess. Right? And that is going to become the biggest impediment. This consciousness cannot become a concept of the intellect. Whatever becomes as a concept, it remains as a data point and not consciousness. It remaining as a data point is also illumined by that consciousness only. And supposing you did not understand that data point, absence of the clarity of that data point is also illumined by that consciousness. But that intellect in itself cannot grasp. And we do lot of kushti. Kushti ko English? Wrestling. We do lot of intellectual wrestling. What this consciousness is. If I don't understand it, if I don't grasp it, how will I know? This is the stumbling block that all of us will come across. It is that intellect has to now be transcended. All the clarity that we are seeking is so that that intellect can shut up and be quiet. No amount of trying to grasp. We can grasp this because it does not require a medium to illumine. Its nature is to illumine. You getting it? All the ideas, concepts, and theories that we grasp is illumined by it, but it cannot become the object of perception of the intellect in itself. You know, those cute dogs, small ones, lot of hair. I know the name starts with P. Pomeranian. Thank you. It's as if you read my mind. Pomeranian dogs. Cutest? Poor thing, they don't have any other equipment to scratch their tail. If it itches, they don't have. In somebody's house that I was, in the kitchen, as soon as you enter, there is this long stick with a hand like this. So I asked, Amma, what is this peculiar contraption? What is this? So she took that. She says, I cannot reach that inaccessible part of my back. This is for scratching that. Poor dog does not have even that. And when something is itching and you can't reach, you know how frustrating it is, right? And these mosquitoes have the tendency to bite you only that place where it has decided your range of hand doesn't reach. Intelligent beings. In that little thing, there is a brain which can access this. And then it is biting somewhere you can't reach, it is itching, you can't scratch. Now imagine what will happen to that poor dog. The tail is irritatingly itching. So what does it do? It tries to turn around to catch its tail with its mouth. It's almost there. As it jumps, what happens? Wherever it turns, it becomes the front and the back goes back. You should give it to that Pomeranian breed that they are very, very hardworking. They don't give up that easily. So you will see them start spinning. Why? In an effort to catch that tail. It seems like, I've observed it very closely. Suddenly their eyes flash with wisdom. Arre, ab samjha main. That is what must be happening in their heads. I am doing it all wrong. This way I am going, it is going that way. What if I turn around and catch it this way? I'll catch it. And it turns around and sly and jumps over. What happens? Again, the same pattern in a counterclockwise direction starts. Nice entertainment to watch. This is exactly what happens with our buddhi. With our buddhi, we are trying to conceptualize and grasp this consciousness. You try catching it, and it becomes, and then you turn around. One thing that we have to understand, that consciousness, swayam vibhati, it does not require an equipment and the medium of that equipment to glow. It glows on by itself. So what is meditation? To observe that glow from the intellect, because the intellect is sharp enough to see the glow, but cannot grasp it as a concept. So to observe that glow, to observe that illumination, and in that observation, what should remain? Only the illumination. Even the observer should completely merge. When I say completely merge, not into sleep. You're awake, you're alert, you're vigilant, and yet you're not trying to smear that consciousness as though with conceptualization. That itch to conceptualize should stop there. Then what is the understanding? That consciousness always is there, has always been there, will always be there. The movement of the intellect has a starting time and an end time. Consciousness is the first after whom the time as a concept began. It is after being illumined by the intellect movement happens in time. But that consciousness cannot be mapped in time. Are you getting it? See, from this shloka onwards, every word that is given is a bounce curve. All of them put together. You getting the concept? After saying all this about don't conceptualize, I ask you if you're getting the concept. Because we have to be clear about the concept of non-conceptualization. Am I using too many words? Don't conceptualize, just be the witness. Then we see that it has never non-existed. It has always been there. There is never a time wherein it will cease to exist. It will always be there. And when people use words like expand your consciousness, Ghanta expand. That is not something that can be expanded. You can expand your understanding. Your understanding can reduce. Your wealth can expand, your wealth can reduce. Your body can expand. Your body can reduce. Consciousness, there is no movement. There is only being. Usually I don't entertain questions, but pucho. Na bolo, bolo.
Why is it the intellect that is doing the observing? Because it seems like the intellect has to be very still, like it's not moving. So then why is that tool?
Why is the intellect doing the observation? It is because it is our final frontier. Rest of them are so gross that it cannot even understand. Of all these, like in the Kenopanishad, the story was given that there was Vayu, then there was Jataveda, Agni. None of them who grasp is Indra, Buddhi. The rest of them cannot even come closer to it. It is the subtlety of that intellect, because of which you can see the reflection and understand that reflection is borrowed from the consciousness. That doesn't happen in any other instrument prior. The intellect can grasp anything, understand anything because of that consciousness reflecting in it, in the intellect. It reflects in all other equipments, but they are not that subtle to understand. It can only happen in that intellect. Therefore, intellect is the best tool to observe. Make sense? I think the next shloka talks verily about that concept. Ha, buddhau vanam dhistu dvidastita. It's exactly the same question that you asked. It's just one shloka ahead. But it means good. You're on the right direction. You're not that far away. I should feel good that your intellect was guided to ask that question. Shabash. न उदेति न अस्तम येति येषा न वृद्धिम याति न क्षयम याति. Now this consciousness is genderless. There's no attribute to it. The adjective that is used to express may have a gender. So Guruji explains it beautifully. He says it can be used as sakshi, masculine noun, as chitihi, a feminine, chaitanya, neuter. But it is just the words to explain which have that limitation. Consciousness as such does not have any of these abnormalities. You cannot call that consciousness as he, she, or it. Because we know three genders, right? It is none of those. That is first. Second, it is unborn and it is immortal. Everything is born and dies off by this substantial support, because it is a substratum, by the substantial support of that consciousness. But the consciousness as such never dies because it was never born. So when people come to me asking, Swamiji, my child is becoming spiritual, Chinmaya mission is changing them. They don't even say Chinmaya. They didn't say Chinmaya mission, they say Chinmaya is changing them. So I'm a little skeptical when people come with that kind of an expression. I don't say yes, I don't say no, I don't say good. I'm like on the edge. Batao kya hai? My child was asking this question. You always say, God created everything. Who created God? If we say, someone created God, someone created this consciousness, what will be our next logical question? Who created that? And this can extend itself to infinity. It's a loop. There's no one who has created it, because it is the substratum from which everything else came into being. So then what is the word used there? It is eternal. That which is beginningless, that which is endless. It is eternal. All this Prakriti, we cannot ascertain when was it first created. So that way it is also beginningless. What is the difference between Prakriti and that Chaitanya? Chaitanya is beginningless, Chaitanya is endless. Whereas Prakriti is beginningless. But then it is Antavanta, end. The moment you realize, that is a great difference philosophically, logically speaking, between Advaita Vedanta and Sankhya. In Sankhya, they say Prakriti is also eternal. Purusha is also eternal. But this eternal and that eternal are two different. Two eternals continuous. Advaita Vedanta is the only one which brings that clarity that only Chaitanya is eternal and endless, whereas Prakriti is beginningless but with an end. It does not have any kind of kshaya. What is the lungs disease called? Tuberculosis. TB. In Sanskrit, what is it called? That tuberculosis? It is called Kshaya Vyadhi. Kshaya meaning the lungs are being eaten up. It is reducing. Kshaya, Kshina. What are the things that can kill anything, destroy anything? It's a very beautiful analysis. This comes in Bhagavad Gita also, the second chapter. Immediately after that, Bhagavan uses this logic. He says, that anything that can be destroyed are by element or less of element, the 5 elements. Right? The quantity of earth, either it is excess, it can kill, in blunt words. And as a weapon, it can kill someone. It is from earth. If you don't have a weapon, a stone, it will kill, it will destroy. Like when we cook, how does a black pepper get destroyed? You put it in that mortar and pestle, and then if you don't have that kind of a patience, then you have that grrr, what do you call it? No, the smaller one, food processor. You throw it in there and it pulverizes it. You get a fine powder. How do you make it into fine powder? An element of earth which is harder than it is used to chop it down. Earth. And the best part is, the first 4 elements, earth, water, fire and air, cannot destroy space. These first 4 elements cannot destroy space. I'll hit the space with stones. Try. Samurai sword, that I can bend the space. Yeah, you can make that concept in Avatar the Airbender. Space bender. But literally, with earth, you cannot even touch that space. Can you desanctify space by throwing filth at it? There is a saying in Hindi, जो चांद पे थूकता हो, somebody who spits on moon, what happens to them? The spit falls back into your own face. जो चांद पे थूकता हो, उसके खुद के मुंह पे गिरता है. So you want to throw filth into space saying, I'll corrupt you. I'll make you filthy. Can the space be touched by it? It will fall back on you only. I will wet the space. You cannot wet the space. I'll dry out the space. You cannot dry it out either. I'll burn the space. You can't. In space, you can light fire. But space as such cannot be destroyed by fire either. I can suck the air out of a room, but I cannot suck the space out of it. Permutations and combinations of these four, you can create WMD, weapons of mass destruction. And we as humanity have developed since ages different kinds of tools. Some of them we are not even having access to it now. What is the most powerful weapon that humanity has ever created? A Brahmastra. With that Brahmastra, you can only manipulate or touch these four elements. Space cannot be destroyed. Space cannot be contaminated. When the destruction of these or by these four elements cannot destroy even space, that which is beyond space, that which gives validity to space, that which is conscious of space, that which cognizes space, that consciousness which is subtler than the space, can anything be added to it? Can anything be destroyed? Can anything be used to destroy it? I mean, if consciousness had voice, पहले आकाश को कुछ करके दिखा. Before you come to me to destroy me, first try doing anything with this space. And when you cannot even touch that space, how can we think about anything destroying or anything added into consciousness? Na vruddhim yati, na kshayam yati. Right? Swayam bhati. It is self-illumining. Sometimes, especially when you are back home. Yes, family, very loving family. But after the initial hug and pleasantry is done, when the routine begins, especially in the early mornings where everybody is busy. You want to get to school, you want to pack your things, you want to have your breakfast, have your lunch packed. You are searching frantically for your keys. Your car keys. You knew you had it. You knew you kept it somewhere. And you have been searching and searching and searching. And then you give a wireless call to the super manager of the house. Who is the super manager of any house? Mommy. Mom, where are my keys? If I were in that mom's role, I would have immediately said, मेरे को दे रखा था क्या? ढूंढ. But the moms are amazing. Yesterday you kept it on the center table. Nobody removed it from there. It should be right there. I am right here. I don't see it. And then suddenly, that busy Annapurna Devi takes avatara right in front of you in the living room in the BK Rupa. Can't you see it? It's right there. You're like, no. I saw, but I couldn't see it. What happened? Your buddhi did not illumine the presence of it. And as long as your buddhi does not illuminate, through that buddhi, that consciousness does not illuminate, it does not have a validity of existence. It may be right there. Search for your own glasses. I'm yet to do that. I'll be there soon. One Amma in Devi group gave a very beautiful example. They said she was running late to pick up her kids, and she was frantically searching for her cell phone, and finally she sent a message to her husband, not able to find my phone. And the husband said, ha ha ha. Why did he send ha ha ha? You're using that very thing to send me a message, and you're searching for it. Hota hai. It happens. Sometimes we become so forgetful, consumed by so many other things. It is right there. Why am I not able to perceive it? Because the consciousness has not illuminated. Anyani bhati esha. It illumines everything. Every vastu, every material, every vyakti, every environment. Whenever we recognize, what do we recognize as? This is. This is a watch. This is a mic. This is a lectern. What is that is denoting there? That it has been blessed, illumined by that consciousness. You getting it? Without that illumination, no cognition can ever happen. I take it to the subtler inner world. You understood a concept. How do you know that you understood it? Whenever you understand something, you also know that you understood it. How do you know? The best part is the next one. You did not understand a concept, but you know that you do not understand that concept. Understanding a concept and not understanding a concept, both of them are illumined, because of which I know I understood, I know I did not understand. Can you all see my hand? Because it is illumined because of this illumining body, light. What is on my hand right now? Nothing. What is on my hand now? Watch. The presence of something is illumined. The absence is also illumined. That illumination which illumines the intellect to know that I understood something, so that I come to know that I did not understand something. Don't get trapped in understanding or the lack of understanding. The focus should turn towards that which is illumining it. Scripture sometimes uses a language of polarity. Like, for example, that which is farther than the farthest, but yet that which is closer than the closest. What? How can something be farther than the farthest and closer than the closest? So I asked the same kind of a logic in one of the Balavihar adult session satsang. So an elderly gentleman sitting there was laughing to himself. I said, "Kya hua bhaiya?" They said, "Swamiji, you will never know." I said, "What?" "शादी करके देखो पता चलेगा. Once you get married, you will understand that it is possible somebody is closer than the closest and yet farther than the farthest." So when it uses this kind of a language, it trips that intellect. What? So what is the Upanishads trying to do there? It is trying to grab the attention of the intellect, saying, it is not what you have understood or what you have not understood. It is that which is illumining where your attention has to refocus. Swayam bhati, anyani, even the rest of it, it is illumining. And to illumine this intellect, it does not require another instrument to illumine. Nature is of illumination. That is the nature by definition. That is the definition of our true nature, consciousness. You get it? That which is allowing you to say, yes, you got, is consciousness. I actually thought of taking 2-3 shlokas, but the spark of clarity is yet to be seen. Therefore, I am not rushing to the next shloka. Did you get this much? Okay, I think we'll stop here. All your eyes are showing intense overload of processing. I have a little smile there. Let me replicate it. You know what it reminds me of? That is it Ice Age? Where that sloth in the DMV. Zootopia. Thank you. That sloth. That this fellow says a joke. That fellow is like, I got it. And the best part is he turns to his friend, another sloth. Let me tell you a joke. Your eyes are like that right now. Laden with the burden of concept of consciousness. Unconscious. I'll stop it here. I'll let you process it. If you have any questions, we'll discuss it as we continue the day. Okay? Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.